Big up Mixtic Sensation. Yes, man. Big up yourself. Big up, big up. Rattigan, Jaja. Big up yourself, Ratty. Yes, keep on doing the good work that you're doing, my brother. Yes. So I'm back again. And now, people, the part when I go make you listen to now. Take this thing very serious. You understand? Very serious, because this can reach you out here. So same way. Just listen up.
Attacks were organized by their groups. Yes, that's right. According to them, part of their plan was to contact and cooperate with terrorist groups to carry out violent attacks against civilians and government institutions. Even more shocking is the fact that the recent massacre in Barcelona, a city that is the last remaining military base between the terrorist group and the capital, Ouagadougou, in which more than 309 people were killed and many more injured, was also part of their plan. But that's not all. Before their arrest, the conspirators also revealed that they had plans to attack the presidential palace, a drone base, the Ouagadougou airport, and a military base in Mangodara. How can someone who claims to be a leader and wants the good of the people go to such extremes, even to the point of hurting civilians? This just shows that the former military junta is no different from all the other democratically elected leaders who work only in their interests. But the question is, what was the aim of this devious plot? While the Burkina Faso army and the government of Ibrahim Traoré are hard at work and desperately searching for a solution to the terrorism problem that has claimed thousands of lives, some Burkina Faso nationals, military officials, and politicians are sabotaging everything behind the scenes. These people have deliberately contacted JNIM, one of the most dangerous terrorist organizations that has terrorized the Sahel region for several years, to provide them with information and support their attacks on their own people, resulting in even more injuries and deaths. Their plan was undoubtedly to spread the narrative that terrorist attacks in Burkina Faso have increased while President Traoré is in power, that President Traoré is not doing enough to deal with the insecurity and should be removed from power. Let's assume for now that President Traoré is a bad leader and unfit to lead Burkina Faso. The question is, would a good leader collaborate with jihadist groups and kill civilians and soldiers in order to remove himself from office? The answer is a resounding no. But as we said, Paul-Henri Damiba's actions simply show how evil he is and that he is unfit to be the leader of a country. Yes, anyone who thinks that the lives of civilians and soldiers are not important to his personal interests is unfit to be a leader. Fortunately, Burkina Faso authorities quickly identified the plot, arrested several involved parties, and thwarted a significant part of it. Now the Burkina Faso government has launched a special counterterrorism operation aimed at neutralizing the remaining threats. The government has also warned that such destabilizing acts will no longer be tolerated and called on the families of the conspirators to report and distance themselves from the subversive activities. But President Traoré is not just going to launch a special counterterrorism operation. No, he intends to bring Paul-Henri Damiba from Togo to Burkina Faso to stand trial. For this, Mr. Traoré is currently negotiating with the Togolese government to ensure the successful handover of the former military junta. But the question is, will the negotiations be successful?
All right, people, when you listen here, what go on right here, so. Because you see the whole constitution where you see a change up and all of this and that what they want to put in. Check out this and find out if I know right down here so it'll come from. Listen.
So wouldn't it be better to bring him back to Burkina Faso to make him pay for his crimes? Traoré's decision to put the former junta on trial raises a very important question. How are former African politicians accused of corruption and other crimes treated legally? Are they usually brought to justice or do they escape the law? In Africa, there is a trend that politicians accused of corruption often escape the law. There are clear cases where many African politicians have escaped justice even after being found guilty. This trend highlights the common belief that African politicians are above the law and can do whatever they want. But in an ideal society, no one should be above the law, leader or not. If he or she commits a crime, the justice system should not bend to diplomacy and should prosecute the accused if found guilty. And no leader should receive special treatment while serving a prison sentence because of his or her previous job. By seeking Damiba's extradition, Traoré is sending a message and setting a precedent.
You see what me I say, peeps? They might try to create one constitution where they are above the law. You understand what I say? So now is the time that we need to get them out. This is a constitution here. We can't allow it to go through. Because it go in with so much loophole and cracks in it. Where only we are going to suffer. Only we are going to struggle through it. Anyhow, we keep on continuously have this government a rule over we. Take in some more.
This is crucial, especially in a region where political impunity is the norm. It's common for politicians to flee justice and seek refuge in neighboring countries. Interestingly, this is exactly what happened to former Burkina Faso President Blaise Compaoré. After orchestrating the assassination of Thomas Sankara, Blaise Compaoré led Burkina Faso as president for 27 years. He destroyed everything Sankara had built and, with French aid, led the country into poverty and underdevelopment. But the people of Burkina Faso eventually grew tired of his rule and launched an uprising in 2014. This ultimately led to his resignation and his exile in Côte d'Ivoire. 2 years later, he was finally charged with the murder of Thomas Sankara and was set to be extradited to Burkina Faso to face the charges. But guess what? Côte d'Ivoire's President Alassane Ouattara signed a presidential decree making Blaise an Ivorian citizen automatically. This decree effectively ended any possibility of his extradition to face murder charges in his home country. Imagine how corrupt leaders in Africa support each other to avoid justice for their crimes. When President Traoré
some secret apps
his extradition to face murder charges in his home country. Imagine how corrupt leaders in Africa.
And you hear that, my people? Them are going to ensure say there's a lot of changes in our constitution right now. Whether a new one or the old one. Watch within the next couple of months and see the amount of changes that them are going to put in. So then start a mess around with the Integrity Commission hack already. Because they want to fix it for them own way. You understand? Then now go stop until them, and if them can't get it, watch and see how much people are going to run well left Jamaica. Just watch and see how much people are going to run well left Jamaica. And then them are going to sit down behind them secret places part then there and crack up some things. So when time them return back to Jamaica, the law can't touch them. Hence, we need to move away from all of this colonies where take place. We need to move away from it. So we can form our own rules and regulations here what protect we as Jamaican. You understand? That we would need those things to protect us as Jamaican. And we need to start produce back for ourselves. We need to go back in other culture, in other roots there. We need to start look out for one another. We need to be Jamaican again. That me I go call that video one time I end it.
Ever attempted on the African continent, but he also opposed corruption and supported austerity measures, which is unusual for an African head of state. There is no doubt that if he had lived longer, Burkina Faso would have become one of the largest African countries in the world. But those who did not want such independent leadership and creativity, freed from dependence on the West, decided to overthrow Sankara. And who did they choose for the job? None other than his best friend, Blaise Compaoré. One cannot help but wonder why Blaise decided to betray his friend. Was he jealous of Sankara and wanted to take his place? Whatever the reason, Blaise, with the help of France, staged a coup that resulted in the assassination of Thomas Sankara. One of the reasons the coup was successful was that Sankara was accused of violating the human rights of rebels and suppressing dissent. People believed these coup plotters because they had seen Sankara ban trade unions and a free press. But what they failed to understand was that Sankara was doing the same thing that many revolutionary leaders had done before him. Leaders who want to bring about big changes must take certain actions that may seem bad to some, but are necessary to achieve their goals. Sankara banned trade unions, freedom of the press, and anything that could hinder his plans to completely transform Burkina Faso. However, some people seemed to forget his plans and the great deeds he had done, and focused on what they perceived as human rights violations. Because of this, the coup was successful, and Sankara was replaced by Blaise Compaoré as head of...
Yes, me peeps. You hear what I go on? I hope so not taking them things, you know. Because these things will be reality in the next couple of months. We're not far away from seeing these things are happening in Jamaica. Because if them can't get it one way, them are going to take it the next way. And if they can't get it none of them way, then problem I go die. So we need to know what we are doing. We as Jamaicans need to know that. Right? And need to stop have some little people that influence us to take our own brother and sister life. You understand? Or if we put one another in a some hard life, some difficulties, some, you know, take away my land, take away my house, do this, do that, to make your own brother and sister suffer. People, please like and share the video, may I beg you now. So more people can see and hear what go on and what we plan to achieve. Blessed.